Welcome back to another episode of Shaking the Damn Table. Hope y'all didn't miss us too much last week. We were out, But we're on episode number 7. Yes.
7, the number of completion.
Okay, come on.
7 is a good number.
It is.
Energy.
I'm your host, Amyna, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Memri and David. And today we have a special guest. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Jasmine. I'm very happy to be here.
Yes,
I've been looking forward to it for a minute.
Yes, Jasmine was supposed to be on the first episode, so,
Life happens.
Yes. But I've known her since elementary school, so since I first moved down here, we have some history together.
Probably my longest friendship is probably one other person who I've known that long in my life.
Yeah, same. Tell us a little bit more about what you do and everything.
So about me, let's see. So of course I grew up here with Amyna. I just started a new career with Social Security, so working, new career, making more money. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Right. Always.
Take it all.
Looking at getting back in school to finish out, going to law school.
Yes. Okay.
So that whole process has been something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say fun, but it's a process.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Come through. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into the segment. So we'll start with Memri with the move.
All right. So I have 2 moves for the month. So first one at Zydeco, J.I.D's tour, Catch Me If You Can, is coming to Zydeco. Yes.
Noted.
Thursday.
Yeah, it's on Thursday, March 21st at 7 p.m. and tickets are available now, so go out and get your ticket.
Dreamville.
If you like J.I.D. Yes, it should be really good. And the other one is more artsy. It's called Vibes and Virtue. Yeah. It's going to be happening on March 26th, so that's coming up soon too at Kerrigan's Public House. I don't know if y'all have ever been to Kerrigan's, but it's good. It's good. So a little bit about the event, because I hadn't heard of it before, and this is their 3rd year doing it, so it's growing. So Vibes and Virtue is an interactive art experience that features a string of fun and interactive art games. So it sounds very interesting. Like I said, it's their 3rd year doing it. So early bird tickets are only $5.
Y'all have different to do.
$5. So those are your 2 moves for the month.
Come through. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the business of the week.
All right, I got a special treat this week for the Biz Week.
Two
of my good friends, black friends, and they're both authors. The first one I'm gonna start with is my boy Ronnie House. I went to Homewood High School with him. Really good dude. He went to University of South Alabama, did his thing down there. But I get on Facebook today and he posted a link to a book, and I was like, when are you writing a book, bro? So he has a book called The Secrets of Success, and it's 12 key steps to bettering your life. And he, I literally just got it today because I ordered it immediately, and I got to support. But the first page in here that he has, he starts off with, to whom it may concern, let no one tell you that you cannot achieve your dreams. Reach for the stars, because at the end of the day, those who spoke negatively against you will one day serve you. So he a whole vibe. So he, definitely saying, stay on the course, stay on the path you're trying to do, and we all have negativity in our life, of course. It's inevitable. But the people that doubt you use it as strength. So definitely good way. So I definitely need that word. And the second page, he just says real quick. He says, "Welcome to my world. Take time to dissect each page of this book. Achieve and better understanding to unlock your most defined potential and your greatest breakthrough." So definitely recommend. This is available on Amazon. You can see him cheesing right here. He got the white suit. He kind of dripping right now. So you know what I'm saying? Like I see you, Ronnie. So yeah, definitely check him out. I'm gonna use it. He was a business major too. So I'm always looking for the more insight in that. But can't wait to read that, bro. And social media. I don't really know where he's not really on anything except Facebook, but you can go to his Facebook at Ronnie House Jr. and that's where you can find him. And the next book, good friend of mine, her name is Candace Green. A lot of you know her. She's a blogger, researcher, author, a whole bunch of things. But she wrote a book a couple months ago, last year, and had a book signing in December that I was able to go to. And her book is The Illusion of Fear and How to Live Your Best Fear-Free Life. And I know a lot of us struggle with fear in some form. You know, there's doubts, there's anxiety. We all have it. We're human. But the goal of, you know, the book is to show you that you're supposed to take your fears and use them more as like a reference point. Like, don't let them control your thoughts, your actions, your mindset, your goals. You use them as like they're more of a guidance type of thing. So I actually just started this. Sorry, Candace. Had the book for a little bit, but you know, when I get a book, if I'm gonna read it, I need to just have absolutely all the time in the world. So just starting it, definitely excited. It's gonna be really good. I can tell already. But just a little snippet of her first page. She says, "Is dedicated to all those who struggle with fear. I know it's a tough battle to face, and sometimes I can feel like you're doing it alone. You aren't. I pray that you are able to relate to the Bible stories as well as my own, and use this book as a stepping stone into getting fear out of your life for good." And she dedicated it to her late father, which is really good as well. So definitely go pick it up. Also on Amazon, you know, support Black authors, support Black everything. Can't wait to read it. And remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. So keep that in mind. You can find her on Twitter at C_.dog. I believe it'll be here. And you can go to her IG. You can find her IG at C_dog93. So both of those, definitely pick these up. Both of these, read them up. And yeah, those are the two businesses I want to promote today. So shout out to them, shout out to my friends.
Look, gotta get your Black library up. So why not start with the new generation?
People you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. So go ahead and go into since you want to take over the trivia, you know. Well, y'all have y'all colored cards, A through D. Let's see who's going to win the trophy today.
Yeah, we're just going to jump in, man.
Oh, God.
Okay, it'd be some curveballs, definitely.
Yeah, every time I watch, I'm like, see.
Yeah, but just know I'm finna shake y'all up though, for real. So just know. Okay, we gonna start this off. All right.
I'm cheating. I don't care.
Wow. That's what we're promoting on the show.
At least we know.
Okay, the first one. A lot of you may know who Phyllis Wheatley is, but you know, a little bit more history. So Phyllis Wheatley is famous for being the A, first African American woman millionaire. B, first African American female senator. C, first published African American poet. Or D, first woman in America to vote in the election. Phyllis Wheatley. What y'all think?
I think I got it.
Okay.
I most definitely know that name, and I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
It's like one of the familiar
Same.
names.
I was like, I should know
name.
this.
Yeah.
All right, everybody ready to reveal? She's like, not ready, but we can do it.
We will.
Okay, let's see those answers. 3, 2, 1. C, C, and A. The answer was definitely C. She was the first published African American poet.
It was
so
process of elimination.
Don't worry, we got a long game. Don't worry.
I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
I'm definitely running on like 20%.
Yeah,
I got more than
Everybody's
me.
tired.
Exactly. See in our eyes. But Phyllis Wheatley was a slave in Boston who had been born in Africa. She learned to read and write and published a book of poems in 1773. So she was the first one to have a published book. So, and then also March is Women's History Month. Another thing so I've definitely been trying to like read more every day on something different, like like pioneers and as far as women goes, and so all these questions are women related. Shout out to the black women. Shout out to the black women. The real MVPs. So yeah, definitely. But okay, let's move on to this next one. She was the first African American to win the Pulitzer Prize. Okay, we got A, Maya Angelou, B, Gwendolyn Brooks, C, Molly Ivins, or D, Toni Morrison.
Oh Lord.
Ooh, okay.
Repeat the
Oh,
question
that's a close
again.
one.
Yeah, exactly. I like these questions.
Okay.
She was the first African American to win the Pulitzer Prize. A.
What's the Pulitzer?
That's a good question. I'm pretty sure it's related to poetry.
Writing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Literature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
For context, yeah.
Alright.
We got Maya Angelou, Gwendolyn Brooks, Molly Evans, or Toni Morris.
I just want y'all to know I was an English major and I really should know this for sure. And I'm stuck in between two.
I wouldn't have known it
But
otherwise.
I think I know.
Okay.
I'm just gonna follow my first line.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what y'all on it. Okay. 3, 2, 1. We got A. Is that the B card?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
The answer is definitely B. So yeah.
Hey.
Gwendolyn Brooks.
Gwendolyn Brooks.
Yeah,
That's what I
Gwendolyn
was
Brooks.
stuck between.
And when I read this, I was like, Maya Angelou is gonna throw people off, because that's what I was going.
I was like, it's-
I don't know why.
See, I was like Meyer or Gwendolyn.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was something.
Yes, Gwendolyn Brooks, poet from Illinois. She was a poet from Illinois. Won the prize in poetry in 1950. So
1950, okay.
yeah, out there rapping.
See, them prize questions be tripping me.
Yeah, I was like, they weren't doing this in the 50s.
Tripping
It's
you
gotta
up.
be Maya. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Tripping you up, but you 2 for 2. Wow, you good. Okay, let's see. Last question. Third one. Let's see if y'all honest. Got to finish strong. She got 2 points, so that means the tie. One of y'all, well,
Lord.
you gotta get one.
Come
So
on, I'm going for the gold.
I can't
All
call
right.
it the first time I lose.
at least you got 1 point. Like sometimes it's better than going over. So okay. So Harlem Renaissance women writers published many stories in the A. Women's Journal, B. Harlem Jive, C. Atlantic Monthly, or D. Crisis.
First of all, I tuned out because all of these are English related, and I was like, dang, I'm really not going to get it.
What was the question again?
Yeah, let's run it back. Tyrrell. Okay.
Yeah. I got a little off too.
You okay. Harlem Renaissance women writers published many stories in the A. Women's Journal, B. Harlem Jive, C. Atlantic Monthly, or D. Crisis.
This is all going to be a guess.
Hey. The more you know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking because I know 2 of those names and I don't know which one it is.
I mean, I know Harlem Renaissance. I get that.
Yeah. I really don't remember no
published
publications.
Yeah, I don't remember publications either.
I only remember like those ones they told us in history, like Thomas Paine and that.
I took a whole class on this and I know 2 of the publications, but I'm not sure which one it'll be.
So I always talk to me stuck between 2.
Yeah, because it's going to be the other one. Like, I'm going to pick the one it's not. It's going to be the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's just go.
Okay.
All that to say we don't know.
We're gonna see.
I'll have to be like,
3, 2, 1. We got D, we got B, and we got A, and the guest
B.
got it right. It was definitely D. It was the Crisis.
shout out to the English
The
major.
Crisis.
Jesse Redmond Fawcett promoted many writers as a literary editor for the Crisis back in the day. For when women, or black people and women were trying to get their voice heard more. So this is like one of the first forms they used. It was called Crisis.
And it was great. I studied it. If you have any interest in anything with the Harlem Renaissance, you should definitely look into it. It was good. It was good.
Nice.
Great stuff in there.
All right, well,
It's a
Amyna
tie.
took it,
No,
so-
it was a tie. So I'm giving it to the guest. I gotta beat out the guest if I'm gonna win, So I'm
Thank you.
wow. Say I don't do no half partial.
I
Either I
just
win it all, I don't.
go ahead and give it to
Okay.
first time coming through.
We see you.
Right.
All right, got your brain stimulated?
Right, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the topic. This week we're going to talk about gender roles. So I asked a couple questions on social media throughout the couple weeks, and yeah, we're gonna guide into it.
Twitter.
So I had
It's a mess on there.
an idea about just kind of breaking it down into what we thought was helpful and what we thought was harmful in gender roles, because some things, some people may want to feel that men and women should just know in general, and whether or not that's on the same as what we've been taught.
Yeah.
Wavelength.
You know, we all have an idea of what we would want our child, whether there be a boy or a girl, how they want to be raised into a man, into a woman in society. So, I had an opinion on IG from Janice Allison. She said that she thinks that they're fine.
That's my friend.
Shout out Janice. She says she thinks they're fine as long as they're viewed as optional and as used as you see fit. But she says they can be hurtful because they can be used to solely oppress women. So I have a couple of examples I'm going to give out or whatever. And I'm going to ask you guys whether you think they're harmful or helpful.
Okay.
So letting young boys cry to express their emotions. So, you know, like if you have a child who's like overly crying, would you like stop him at some point and tell him like he shouldn't?
Define overly.
I mean, just based off of what do you think that there is a time that you would stop a boy from crying?
I think there's a time where you stop anyone from crying if they're not. So I've done a lot of work with children in the past. I think you already know this. But one of the biggest things I see is that, especially in Black households, we don't teach emotional intelligence. So like either you're upset, we don't teach children how to express that emotion and how to deal with those emotions in a healthy way. So any child is going to cry. They're going to cry a lot, especially if they're young, depending on how they express those emotions, how they deal with them. But if we don't teach them, okay, you're crying, you're upset, but crying isn't going to fix it. Here's how we fix the problem. Right. It's okay for you to feel this emotion. It's okay for you to express that emotion, but here's what we do with that emotion afterwards. And a lot of times we just say, don't cry, don't be upset, stop being a wimp. But we don't fix like whatever it is that's making them cry.
Right.
True, yeah, that leads to a deeper problem because I mean, growing up, I don't think I heard it, bro. Men don't cry, or the boy, boys or be a man, stuff like that. So it has pros and cons. Overall, I would say helpful. I think that it's important, like she said, important to express emotion, and building that foundation young is very important. How you process and deal with emotions later in life. So. Crying in general, I would say I'm for it. Like, of course, they should be able to express that, and it's also a release. I don't know the last time y'all cried for whatever reason, but it's still like a release. You do feel a definite like weight lifted when you do, but you just gotta let them know like the right perspective about it, and like gotta also know like the world is tough. Yeah. So you gotta have thick skin too. So it's balanced.
Balance.
Very true. I think even with girls, like you said, even in the Black household, we don't always get the chance to like cry or have those emotions because we have the strong persona as Black women, particularly. Whereas sometimes women are seem to be like emotional and stuff like that. We have this persona of like we can't do that because then people already label us into something that like we don't necessarily feel at the moment.
Interesting. I feel like I'm sure I know it goes both ways, but I've never really heard the other side. Like, it's always the men don't cry. I never really experienced much of the other side.
Yeah, I feel like a lot in the Black household, especially with the girls, we're expected to grow up faster than boys are in a lot of ways. Yeah. So we don't get to experience that full length of childhood in the way that boys do. Like, boys have a longer time to mature, The reason he's acting like that is because he's not fully mature, yada, yada. Boys will be boys. Yeah, that emotional crutch they have, and girls don't get that a lot of times in the Black household. So we don't get that wiggle room, I guess.
That's fair. Like I said, I gotta say, I grew up in an African household. It's not the same as Black household. So that's interesting. Definitely.
Okay, so another one, which actually got from reading one of Candace's posts on Facebook. Women should be pure and boys should be safe.
Oh, like the perception?
Like teaching girls that they should preserve themselves, but letting boys explore and they should just be more safe.
And I do remember that post, and like the stigma as far as sexually active boys versus sexually active men, or sexually active women. How when it comes to guys, and just especially we all know it's going through college, like guys that are known whatever to be active or whatever, it's not really shamed, it's praised in a way, versus the other side. it's like, you know, I don't want to say names or anything, but you know, it's just like if a woman's doing the same thing the guy's doing in that field, it's looked at as like it's worse when it's literally the same thing.
And are there even names for, like, okay, a girl is a hoe, a slut. What is that name for a guy? A pimp? I mean, what is? I mean, every time guys hoe. I mean, I sound kind of hoe, but like, is there even a name for?
I mean, they say fuck niggas now.
I mean,
language, mom.
Like all these names you can call a girl. You know, and it's just like, what is that?
Because even when you say like hoe, the connotation in your head is immediately a woman. You don't think of a man at all. You immediately assume you're talking about a woman.
But men have how many bababies you don't be knowing about? But women, we can only have them so many at a time now. Come on.
I don't know.
Like you said, the word hoe, like that, and that, a lot of that is also from like musical culture, a lot of black culture, like stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely imbalanced because the same action is perceived worse on the other side when that's not fair. I don't know why that is though.
It's very interesting. I feel like a lot of it depends on like household, because I feel like in my household, like I grew up Christian. So it was like, well, nobody needs to be having sex. None of y'all, as far as kids, need to be having sex. But then, like, I remember this. I had a pediatrician, Dr. Matthews. And Dr.
Shut up.
I remember this till this day. And this is what she told me. Dr. Matthews, shout out. She told me, she said, listen, she was like, so real with me. She was like, you know, these little boys out here, they nasty. I said, okay, Dr. Matthews. So we were talking, she was asking me about sex. I'm like, my pediatrician, she was like, they nasty. She said, and you need to protect yourself. You don't need to depend on him to protect you. You protect yourself. He said, if you want to have sex, you wrap it up. I said, okay, Dr. Matthews. She said, don't be scared. I said, well, okay, Dr. Matthews. And I just remember that talk, like, it was so small and so short, but like I still remember that till this day. And I don't recall anybody else in my life talking to me like that at that time.
And that's one of the biggest things to me. Like when you have that stigma around sexuality, then no one talks about it. So then you get people who are like in college or high school, college age, who you feel like should have some type of knowledge of what they're doing before they take this huge step in their life, but they don't have any actual sexual health knowledge. And so then that's how you end up with these crazy STD rates, these crazy unwanted pregnancies, because no one knows how to protect themselves, because no one wants to talk about it, because you're just not supposed to do it.
Just don't do it.
Just don't. It's gotta be a balance.
It gotta be a balance. And like I know I had a sex ed class in, I believe, maybe 8th grade, but I only remember that one class.
We had those little talks in WJ Christian.
I remember that.
I
remember that.
So it's like since then, there's been no other knowledge except me, except like what
my experience
brought me Daddy, I love you if you see this. My dad, because my parents were very, very open. They were open about everything. But the one thing my dad was like, we talked about sex, which I've realized is probably very rare. Like, I had sexual talks with my father growing up. Like, I would be walking outside. I remember once my cousin was coming to pick me up and we were going to the mall. No boys involved. We were literally just going to the mall because we had nothing to do. And he was like, do you need condoms? And I was like, I'll take $40. But, please. Like, what do you, but his sexual education for me was literally, I walked in to my bedroom one day and there was a Walmart bag and it had all these little pamphlets that he had gotten from the clinic about like STDs, and he was like, you should read those. That was him saying, you should read those. I turned it back up and I was just like, herpes.
That's the passive least was just like, I hope she learned.
It was just like, okay, all right.
She likes to read.
But she reads a lot. She likes reading. So like it was at least talked about in my household. I will say that, but I still think there should be conversations where like you sit down and you say, especially when that kid is hitting puberty or whatever, you sit down and say, okay, this is what's going to happen with your hormones. This is what you shouldn't do. These are the decisions you should make. These are the things you should wait on until you're ready. Like, but that doesn't happen because it's so much stigma.
I should be teaching y'all kids game out here because that's what
I'm teaching. Listen, I'm gonna sit down and be like, listen. So he's going to say this.
No, just like
don't listen.
Here.
Like somebody needs to sit down.
I mean, just know how people can manipulate stuff.
Exactly,
Oh, yeah.
especially young girls.
Yes, because you get caught up into stuff. You get into these situations, with Kelly and all these other situations and stuff like that, where you have these illusions of people or a situation, but everything is the same. Just look at it plainly. This nigga is trying to get something from you, and you need to run away, bitch.
Exactly.
Exactly. Being lack of education, and of course, when you're young, you're naive about a lot of things. So that's why education is so important. And going to Memri's point earlier, she was saying how I grew up Christian as well, and that's something that's obviously taught from a biblical perspective, but you have to teach it. I believe it's important to teach it in a practical perspective, a black person's perspective. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because we're at that age, we're not going to be able to take from the biblical perspective. Our minds aren't there yet to be able to take the true message of that. So that's why you have to reinforce it. So because I know for a fact we didn't talk about it at all.
No type of talk with my parents.
Learn from social media.
And experience.
And
it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. I remember in my biology lab, we were talking about how diseases and things are transmitted, and I would never forget. So this was sophomore or junior year of college. So you think in your head, everyone has we're at an age where everyone should have a decent understanding of how STDs and everything happen. And a girl asked a question, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't think you could do that. That would happen if you wore a condom. I didn't think that. I thought that if the one girl in my class thought that if you had oral, that STDs were only transmitted through penetration. Yeah. If she was having oral, she was like, well, I didn't think that would. I thought it only went the other. I was like, how did? Where did we skip this information at?
They don't teach sex to be as a whole. It's just sex is only when penetration happens, and that's it.
She had no other information. I was
the state failed her. I mean, that's the education system's fault.
Really,
they failed.
It's a mixture of that, and I mean, generations not teaching it. I don't know what causes. I mean, it's also how your parents were raised too. They might not have been taught either. So
that's true.
It's a cycle, really.
Stop the cycle, guys. Teach your children about sex, please. Please.
Wrap up.
All right, so let's go through some other ones. Women should strive to be wives and mothers.
Women should strive to be whatever they want to be.
I mean, says who?
But do you feel like there's more of a pressure for
definitely
women being taught at an early age to strive to be mothers, and men don't necessarily have to strive to get a wife?
I think especially being in the South, and a lot of us being Christian, we hear a lot about women. And thankfully, I'm blessed because I haven't heard a lot of that. My parents are really just pushing me. My dad's the dad who's no, you need to go get your own. You need to go get your own before you get with someone else. Yeah. So I was blessed, and I haven't had a lot of push to you need to get married. My dad tried to slide a little. If I had grandkids, but we had to go ahead and put that to the side.
They sprinkled that, but
we had to just take that away.
Sprinkle whenever you get ready.
But I think general society, that's the thing. You go, you get married, you have kids, that's what you do. Yeah. And the earlier, the better.
Yeah. I definitely think you're right about the South thing, because I'm from the North, and being down here and seeing so many people just popping out. Lives at 16 starting and then 28 with 10 kids.
It's not. So as you know, me and Jordan, me and my boyfriend, his name's Jordan. Hi Jordan. We've been together since high school, so we're not married, and that is a conscious decision between both of us because we want to get to a certain place financially, career-wise, all of that good stuff before we start looking at starting a family, all that good stuff. But because of the fact that I'm in a relationship and it's a committed relationship, people are always y'all haven't had a kid yet? Right. Y'all have been together since high school. Y'all aren't doing this yet? Y'all aren't doing this? No.
Kids aren't that great.
There's no template.
And kids aren't that great.
And I love them. I love them, but I have a time limit. When I babysit my cousins, I'm you got 48 hours. I got your kid for a weekend, so you can get a break, and you need to come and get them. I'm not.
Yeah, I know you said in comparison to like men who aren't always like, as far as like the expectations compared to women.
The expectations.
I mean, I know for like, at least for my dad, I know like he definitely, made sure he was like, this is what you gotta do to be a man in life. You gotta make sure you do this. You gotta provide one day kind of thing. So yeah, there was definitely that foundation. But I know like after a certain point, it seems like it's still more push on the women's side versus the men's side. I can see that. I can definitely agree with that because a lot of people don't. A lot of times it's like the pedestal women is really high, and sometimes men don't get the same pedestal.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not fair.
I never had it in my like house, thankfully, because like being from up north, they're kind of just like, they got married kind of young-ish or whatever, but they were like in their 20s, but and I thought that they got married quick because I was like, you only knew him for like a year and a half and you got married to him, girl, why?
Love right now. Real love.
Like, no, girl.
Well, y'all still like each other? Girl.
But bless, they
Yeah.
met through like church and stuff like that, so they was real founded in God.
Anointed relationship. So we want.
But just from like society and stuff like that, it's always kind of a thing of you should want to do this and you should like want to do that, and it's like I want this, but I don't want that. So
Can I mix it up until we get to where we need to be?
Right.
Do what's best for you. Not everybody's life's the same. So.
True.
That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah. Social media, I tell you.
So another one was men should know how to do hands-on stuff like mow the lawn, take out trash, kill bugs, change tires, etc. What do y'all think?
I'm not doing it.
I'm not either. I'm not killing
We all know how
bugs.
this
Yes. Yes. Who else is going to cut the grass? Yes.
So I will say I did do it once because my dad was very both of you need to know how to do everything.
Yeah,
so like my brother
too, actually.
like my brother
My
is
dad
actually a better cook than I am, no lie. But like we both learned how to cook, we both learned how to do this. Like I technically know how to change a tire, or at least it's been taught to me. I probably couldn't do it in practice, but it's been taught to me.
I've been taught.
So it's been, at least in my house, I grew up where it was shown to both, but at the same time, my daddy showed me how to cut grass one time, but my brother cut it every summer. So like, it's like it was shown to me, but the expectation wasn't there for me to actually do it. So all I'm saying is, I don't like gender roles too much on either side. I feel like most of these things are things that any adult, if you're a functioning adult, you need to learn how to do them. But at the same time, I'm not going to cut the grass. I don't take out the trash. Jordan does. If he doesn't want to do it, we can just pay somebody to do it. As long as it's not expected for me to do it, I don't really care how it gets done.
I can see that. I definitely have a contrast, of course. As a man, of course, when you're with your woman, you want to, naturally, I feel you should just want to do those things, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause you don't want that's just, it's like the gentleman thing to do, like, oh, I'll take care of that, that's what you should do. But obviously, when it comes to gender roles, you're supposed to do what works for you, work for y'all. So, like, there is nothing that says, she can't gas. Or she can't mow the lawn, but it's just, I know it's not expected, and it's like it wouldn't be expected from me, of course. But it's just that I think it's cool. Like I think there's like no problem, like if she genuinely wants to do it or anything like that sort of thing. Like it can be reciprocated. Reciprocation is the key in relationships, life, all that. So it should be open, but obviously as a man, I'm just gonna take care of the man things. I feel like those that take trash out and kill the bug. Something like that. So carry heavy stuff, just like those are just normal things. But I know it's not written anywhere that says we have to do it. But I just think it's the gentleman thing to do.
The other one was just like women should know how to do stuff like cook, clean, and all that kind of stuff or whatever.
Well, that's a big one. Also reciprocated. That should. Which men should be whipping too. Y'all can't whip.
You have to eat to live.
Exactly.
You don't have to cut grass to live, but you have to eat to live.
And that's one of the ones that drives me crazy. Men that are like, "Oh, you're not cooking me dinner." Don't expect. If you can only make moves, you're not an adult. Like, if you literally cannot feed yourself, I don't classify you as a functioning
Besides
adult.
going out to get food, you mean?
Yeah, like
and cooking is so simple. Like if you get the most
basic
thing and read the
items,
back, read the back, you can do it.
But some people can't follow instructions in life, so how they gonna do it?
That means they're not a functioning adult.
Well, then I can't help them.
I was trying to call nobody out.
So I also had a question out that was on Facebook, kind of asking about did anybody feel like growing up as a black person, do they have obstacles with the perception of what they felt they should be as a man or a woman? So one of the responses was from Chris Pugh, and he said, biggest obstacle I face is the constant testing of my manhood versus the world stigma of what being a man means. As a man, I'm supposed to be this thing that constantly provides for self and a family. If one goes that route but never shows emotion, never show that I'm tired, be mindful of keeping myself intact at all times because I'm a male, not to mention the challenges I have being a man while being black. I can never cry, I can never take time for self and make sure I'm alright. I can't be selfish with my own peace. I'm just supposed to carry the weight of the world, provide and love others if allowed. I can't be too confident and have an identity because then I'm cocky and arrogant. In reality, I'm not what many people see as a stereotypical black man. I love art and I'm in touch with my emotions and I express them clearly. I'm self-aware and confident in who I am. I challenge the would-be norm of a black man. I've been talked about, laughed at, disowned by strangers, jobs, friends, and family because I'm a black male that dances. That's just so funny and gay, as he's heard. It's not real, it's just a hobby. I'm an example of how to be confident and vulnerable in your own skin as a black man and a man, period, in this crazy ass world. I guess my true obstacle is showing in the world how man is a multidimensional being, having depth and as more than just providers, and we have emotions, goals, and dreams too.
Wow. Oh, I was just doing a black fist, but wow, you said Chris Puff?
Yeah.
That's actually my homie. Yeah. Oh, shout out Chris Puff. That really shook the table. For real.
I was saying that's how you say his name.
Puff? Yeah.
I thought it was Pew.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh man, if I got that wrong, I just thought that's how you say it. That's what me and
How you say your name?
that's what me and my boys used to say. Like
We need a breakdown.
We'd be like
Everybody
Chris
different,
Puff. Like just say it.
That's good.
Yeah, but no, that is a. I mean, of course.
Shout out.
Rush out everybody out, man. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like with that outlook, I mean, of course, like definitely like sending positivity his way. That's obviously being either side of the gender has its own burdens and struggles and hurdles. Yeah. So we and I think the most important thing, like I know that a lot of times I agree. I believe women deserve a lot more. Betterment and treatment than compared to men overall as a whole. I do agree with that, but at the same time, we have to also remember that every side has their own burdens that are not seen, that are their own expectations that are not, that they have to follow, that they, that is not always like televised and stuff they're carrying. So it's just respecting each other's role and gender, but like also not like taking advantage of the other side. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with a bunch. I can relate to a bunch of stuff he said in there. But definitely stay open-minded and stay true to who you are. Honestly, it'll work out.
Sure.
Yeah.
I most definitely want to see black men be more emotional.
Yes.
Like outwardly and physically, and just have that freedom to be whatever that is for you. Yeah. Like I kind of understand Chris when he's kind of saying black men are kind of put in a box, and if you get outside that box, something's wrong with you. You gay, you're lame, you're whatever. And I want us to create an environment in a world where not only just black men, but we all know, but where black men can be who they really want to be. Because I feel like if they were given more opportunities to say, okay, well, be free. There are no expectations of you. You don't have to be hard. You don't have to be, anything. Just be however you would want to be. If we raise them like that, I think we'd have a totally different race of black men than we do now.
Especially, I think so much of that frustration that he's experiencing, and I feel like other black men experience because they can't express their emotions in a healthy way, comes out in a lot of the anger that we see. Like, especially when you talk about relationships. We don't teach our young black boys how to express their emotions, so they get into relationships, and because they don't know how to express any frustration or problems they having, we always end up with anger.
Yeah.
So that's how you get that persona of like the angry black man. And I think it's in a lot of ways the same on the side of the angry black woman, where we're not taught how to express our emotions in a healthy way. So anger is the only thing that ends up coming out.
Like release.
Now you get just this release of anger, and then it becomes a stereotype of anytime you see a black person expressing emotion, now they're just angry. So it's just like building on top of each
A
other.
very happy person, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
Yeah.
Very true. I think it was important, you know, to talk about what our struggles are and that mindset, because when we grow up and like get into life and stuff like that and actually experience the world and try to shape who we are as people, we have all these like stigmas or things that we've just grown up knowing is supposed to be where we're supposed to be at, holding us back necessarily, but it's not really. Like, it's only holding us back if we let it. Yeah. And if we believe in the stuff that isn't true to who we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very true. Be yourself. At the end of the day,
I agree.
you'll have no regrets. Be yourself.
And let other people be who they want to be.
Yeah.
They don't have to fit into your box.
Mind your business.
If that person, if you see someone doing something that isn't something you would do,
that's a word right there.
Let them just do that. If they're not bothering you, let them be who they are. That drives me insane.
Very true. People are nosy. People are nosy. That's
for no reason. Don't be nosy.
Mind your business. Drink water.
There you go.
Have a blessed day.
Right.
But thank y'all. Catch us next week at Shaking the Damn Table. Everybody follow Jasmine. Thank you for coming.
And earlier I said this was episode 6. It's 7.
7.
Yeah.
I know. I said 6 though. I put up a 6. So
Oh.
I know. Like, it's somehow I've been waiting all episodes to be like, bro, I know it's episode 7. Y'all were like, episode 7.